going to be making some salsa with carne, homemade tortillas, a salad with Mexican style authentic rice with vegetables in the rice. So I've already went ahead and cleaned our vegetables that we're going to make for our salsa. So we do 3 parts tomatoes to 1 jalapeno, as well as we do just a few layers of onions. It's just your preference. We let that boil and we will come back to that when that is ready. Now that the tomatoes and onions and jalapenos are done, they are very squishy. You can tell by the tomatoes they are scratched, or they are cracked, sorry. And it is ready to be blended. We add a little bit of salt, garlic, and onion powder, and I'm gonna do that really quickly, and then we blend, and I will show you whenever I get to that point. And here is what our salsa looks like. We are going to stick this in the fridge for a couple of hours and let that cool down. In this bowl, we have 2 cups of flour, 2 teaspoons of salt, butter, I have a cup of butter, and a little bit of water, and we are going to knead that up and make some dough for our tortillas. So I'll be right back and I will show you the end result. After we have mixed our dough up, this is what it should look like, and we're going to let it proof with a damp paper towel for 15 minutes.
So now that we've let it proof for about 15 minutes, we are going to separate it in 8 sections. So I'll be right back. So what I have done is taken the dough ball and pressed it in the tortilla press. And just so we can get a thinner, smaller tortilla, roll it out with a rolling pin a little bit. We're gonna to spin again. Boom. And spin one more time. And we're going to press it again. And here is our tortilla. I will come back after I do the rest.
So after we have rolled out and pressed all the tortillas, that should look something similar to this. Now we are going to cook it. So the next step is cooking your tortillas. So we have a comal, and I've just sprayed some Pam on it, and I have put the dough on it, and we're gonna cook it on this side for about a minute to a minute and a half ish, and then we are going to flip it and continue that for maybe 30 seconds, and it should have a good color on it. I'm going to turn this down a little bit because it's getting a little too hot. Now you want to see the bubbles on your tortilla. When you see the bubbles real going, then you want to flip it, and it should inflate like a balloon, like my aunt would say. You want it to inflate like a balloon. And you're gonna get your pan over here, and Flip it back over. It's not quite done yet, but it's almost there. I'm gonna scoot this to the side and I'm going to put another one on there. Try not to get your dough sticking together. That's gonna be hard to get undone. Almost done on that, but all right. I'm going to finish off the rest of the tortillas and I shall be back with the meat. So we are now moving on to rice, which I must get over here. Okay, so we are making rice as our starch tonight. And I'm gonna start with rice. Beautiful. And a little bit more, because we have a big family to feed. That's good enough, you think? Alright. We eyeball in this house. We don't really measure too much. So I was probably about 3 cups of rice. We're gonna pour a little bit of oil. Probably just enough to coat the rice. And we are going to oil it up. Just to coat it. I think this was a perfect amount of oil. So that was probably a tablespoon, maybe a tablespoon and a half of oil for 3 cups of rice. So that's actually not too bad, pretty easy. So we are just going to stir it until it starts getting brown. When it starts getting brown, we're going to add quite a bit of water to it, as well as our mixed vegetables. So I will come back in a second when it is brown. So our rice is just about the color that we want it. Not quite there, but whenever it does get there, we will have to move really, really quickly with our water, our seasonings, and our mixed vegetables. Which our mixed vegetables are corn, green beans, celery, and peas. That is what our mixed vegetables are. Super quick. I'm going to leave this alone for just 1 minute. Like I said, look, you can see right there that some parts are starting to get brown, the consistency we would want. I'm going to leave this alone for just 1 second and let it get a little bit of color, and then I'm going to stir it up again and let that part get some color. Like I said, this moves really, really quickly. So, yeah, you just gotta constantly watch it. So, we are just waiting on the rice. It is pretty close, guys. You will know when it is ready because it'll turn a deep dark brown super quickly, all at once. Almost there. I know I keep saying almost there, but it is really almost there. So here in the next 15 seconds, maybe less than that, our rice will be ready for the next step. Oh yeah, definitely starting to get done. I am going to have to say, I don't know if you guys can see how deep dark the color is, but I'm going to say it's ready to move on to the next step. So, this being said, we're going to pour in some water. And we are going to stir this up just a little bit. Just get the starcher rolling. Okay. Then we're gonna get some of our seasoning, and I will show you in just 1 second what it is. It is actually a Mexican seasoning blend that we use for our rice. And I used about 3 tablespoons. It is the tamal, or yeah, tomato bouillon with chicken flavoring in it. We go through it pretty good, so this is probably something that we keep for quite a while. But we're gonna put that in, and then we're gonna stir this up. Just get all the flavors rolling. And in just 1 second, we're gonna pour in our mixed vegetables. I'm going to be right back. So I went ahead and poured in our mixed vegetables while I was off camera, but I did forget to mention that there is also potatoes in here as well, and also lima beans. I forgot to say that as well. So yep, then we're going to let this come to a boil really quick, and once it comes to a boil, we are going to stick a lid on it and do not move it until it is soft and the water is completely out of it. We may need to come back and put a little bit more water, but if so, not very much more than what we have in here now. So again, we're just going to let it come to a boil, and then we're going to put it on low and let that cook for probably about 20 minutes. And in the meantime, we are going to cook our carne. So on our George Foreman grill, we are going to sprinkle some salt, and I already sprinkled some onion powder on our carne, which carne is just pretty much steak that has been chopped up in smaller pieces. So, interesting if you didn't know that. And we are going to stir this around. And I have been cooking this a moment, so it is cooking. I will put some garlic on it a little later, but I only have regular garlic. I don't have any garlic powder, which was what I was going to originally do, but seems that we have run out. So I'm going to use regular clove garlic. And this meat does not take very long to cook, but you do want to make sure it is cooked well. So I'm going to put the cover on, and I'm going to go back to the rice really quick and see if that has come to a boil. So I will see you in a second. So our rice has come to a boil, so I just turned it down and I put the lid on it, and now we're going to leave it alone for about 20 minutes or so, and we'll come back to it and see how it's looking. Okay, so now we have our tortillas, our homemade tortillas, and we're going to put our carne on our tortillas.
Got it in the video too?
And then we got our onion right here.
I'm gonna go over it with actual paint.
And our cilantro for a garnish.
You like the colors?
And then we're going to do rice on the side. And top our tortillas with our sauce, which is salsa. And then we also have our salad. And I have to cut tomatoes, so I'll be right back. Okay. So I put diced tomatoes on there, but normally they're just slices of tomatoes. And then we put guacamole on there. And this is my plate. Thanks,
And I'm
Mom.
waiting.